Y News with William Theo, Angelo Castro III, and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. The delivery of products and services in some Albay towns that are in the extended 9-kilometer danger zone suffer delays. Mai Bermudez is in Albay to tell us why live. Yes, Mai, good evening.
Yes, Will, the challenge for residents to traverse the extended 9-kilometer danger zone still remains after the downpour of heavy rains in the past couple of days. It's hard for this delivery truck to climb this damaged road. The crew even used a rope to pull the truck and get to the other side.
Hindi naman yung sementado na eh. Kasi since nung mga typhoon before 3-4 years ago, talagang kumbaga kung magkukongkreto tayo doon, yung area na yun, talagang sayang lang ang pera ng gobyerno.
This resulted in the delay of the delivery of products and services in several barangays. Residents within the 8-kilometer danger zone are sometimes going back and checking their houses and belongings. This is despite the provincial government's strong advice to residents within the 6 to 8-kilometer danger zone to not go back to their respective homes until further notice.
May mga nagkukwari doon, gagawin, i-fill up ulit yun para maging passable ulit sa mga tricycle and sa mga motorista.
Some, on the other hand, look for other ways to check their homes.
Doon kami nadaan sa kabila. Mahirap dumaan. Nandito itong nag-ano dito sa may kwarihan na sila nagpipill up pag dumadaan.
Meanwhile, passing along this road that connects Barangay Salvacion and Bujao is also a challenge due to cracked roads. According to DPWH Region 5, it is a protocol to have the residents near the river channels around the volcano to be evacuated to higher grounds.
Kasi continuous yung flow, yung lava flow or ash flow, napupuno yung ating mga river channels. So, ang mangyayari yan is instead na doon siya dadaan sa supposed to be daanan niya, nag-i-spread siya. Kaya yan ang cause ng may pagbabaha.
Will, according to the Municipal Office of Ginubatan, quarry sites should as soon as possible be covered and filled with soil for it to be passable by the residents of Barangay Masarawag and Maninila. Back to you, Will.
Thank you very much, Mai Bermudez, live from Legazpi, Albay. Meanwhile, nearby schools resume classes, though Mount Mayon continues to erupt. Here's why from Monhokson.
Two towns around Mount Mayon, Daraga and Legazpi ordered schools to resume classes this week due to low levels of ashfall reaching their communities. Classes in 15 other nearby towns and municipalities, some within the extended 9-kilometer danger zone around the active volcano, remain suspended. Teachers and students in classes on Monday expressed happiness at the resumption of daily school life.
Sa lugar po namin, I think it's a good idea already kasi marami na kaming lessons na hindi na-discuss and yung mga pupils, gusto na rin nila talagang pumasok, mag-klase na. Ever nung Friday?
Masaya po kasi makakapag-aral na po kami ulit tapos makakapag-test na ulit po kami.
Mount Mayon's alert level remains at 4. Meanwhile, aid workers delivered relief goods to a town near a volcano in central Philippines on Sunday as volcanic mud flows swept away trees and bridges. The Social Welfare Ministry donated boxes of sardines, sacks of rice, which will be distributed among its 44 villages this week. Some evacuees hope enough water will be supplied to their shelters.
Tumigil na po sa pagputok ng yung bulkan natin para makauwi na po kami. Kasi po dito natitingnan po namin pag umulan pinapasok po kami ng baha.
The provincial government has expanded its danger zone to a 9-kilometer radius of Mount Mayon in Albay province. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
President Rodrigo Duterte sets to release 50 million pesos as assistance to the families affected by the activities of Mount Mayon. The said amount, which will be taken from the budget of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, will be allocated for food and provisions for sanitation and well-being of the affected families in the evacuation centers. The president has initially released 25 million pesos in several towns in Albay and will release the next 25 million tomorrow.
Despite the activities of Mount Mayon, the Albay local government says the province will still participate in Palarong Bicol 2018. Asher Cadapan Jr. will tell us why.
The young athletes of Albay have been practicing left and right for Palarong Bicol 2018, the region's version of annual athletic meet. The Sepak Takraw team is ready to defend its title. Trainer Ruel Caleja says the children have been practicing in Daraga North Central School from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. Caleja says they can still focus on their practice time as they are used to dealing with situations like Mount Mayon activities.
So far, ngayon po, nakafocus naman sila sa laro kasi malayo naman kami doon sa danger zone. Lumipat nga kami from Ginubatan papunta dito. Focus naman po sila kasi yung motivation nila to retain the championship.
Aside from getting the gold medal, the group is striving to produce athletes in the field of Sepak Takraw. Ivan wants to be famous in Sepak Takraw and wants to fulfill his dreams and live out of poverty.
Kahit po mahirap ang training, basta po mag-tiyaga lang at dapat masipag para po maabot nila yung gusto nilang maabot.
Ivan reminds his fellow athletes to also manage their time in studying and in practicing for the game.
Pag oras daw po ng pag-aaral, aral muna po. Tapos oras ng training.
The 10-day Palarong Bicol 2018 is set to commence on February 2 in Naga City. In last year's competition, Albay placed third against overall champion Kamsur and runner-up Naga City with 53 gold, 56 silver, and 88 bronze medals. Asher Cadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, Naga City.
Former Palawan Governor Joel Reyes surrenders to the Sandigan Bayan today. Ray Palayo will tell us why.
Following Sandigan Bayan's cancellation of his bail and eventual order for his rearrest, former Palawan Governor Joel Reyes surrenders to the Anti-Graft Court this afternoon. The Sandigan Bayan also reaffirms its guilty verdict against Reyes on August 29, 2017. The ruling is for violating RA 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act due to his renewal of the permit of a small-scale mining company in 2006, under which Reyes will face imprisonment of up to 6 to 8 years. The former governor filed an appeal on September 8, 2017, which resulted in his temporary liberty. However, the Anti-Graft Court withdrew its previous ruling, noting the accused might flee the country. Just this month, the Court of Appeals acquitted Reyes for his alleged involvement killing of broadcaster Jerry Ortega in 2011. Reyes went to Thailand in 2012 but was deported to the Philippines after he was arrested in September of last year.
3 linggo lang po at nakakaraan nung ako po'y makalaya doon sa dismissal ng Court of Appeals. Nakasama ko po yung aking pamilya. Ngayon po ay mahihiwalay kami muli at haharapin po natin ito kasama yung ating mga abogado.
The former governor will be jailed in the Quezon City Jail Annex in Camp Bagong Diwa in Taguig City. His camp might appeal to Sandigan Bayan for the bail petition, while the main case will be filed in the Supreme Court for a motion to review. Ray Palayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Office of the Executive Secretary places overall Deputy Ombudsman Melchor Arthur Carandang under a 90-day preventive suspension. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea has formally filed administrative charges against overall Deputy Ombudsman Melchor Arthur Carandang before the Office of the President. The official allegedly used fabricated bank records against President Duterte and his family.
Grave misconduct and grave dishonesty for misuse of confidential information and disclosing false information, for causing any undue injury to any party, including the government, or giving any private party any unwarranted benefits.
It can be recalled that Carandang led the investigation on the alleged multi-billion peso bank accounts of President Duterte based on the complaints filed by Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Carandang previously said the bank transactions, which are the attachments of the complaints of the senator, came from the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLAC. The AMLAC, however, denied Carandang's statement. Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque says the official is placed under 90-day preventive suspension.
The Office of the Executive Secretary placed under preventive suspension overall Deputy Ombudsman Melchor Arthur Carandang for a period of 90 days, effective immediately upon receipt of this order.
The decision was based on the complaints filed before the Office of the President by Attorney Manuelito Luna and Attorney Eligio Malyari. Luna says he is thankful because justice is served.
We are elated and overjoyed by this latest action by the Office of the Executive Secretary or Office of the President, because this is really what the rule of law mandates, that justice should be served.
Meanwhile, Senator Trillanes said this action of Malacañang is an impeachable offense since the Office of the Ombudsman is an independent institution. But Duterte administration stands firm it is a legal action against the overall Deputy Ombudsman.
Only the Ombudsman is impeachable. The Deputy Ombudsmen are not impeachable. They're subject to disciplinary powers of the Chief Executive, and this has been decided in the Gonzales case.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacañang.
Today is a relaunch of the controversial Upland Tukhang. Philippine National Police go around houses in Barangay Batasan, Quezon City. Some residents, meanwhile, are glad with the said relaunch of the anti-drug campaign. Here's why from Rajel Adora.
One house after another. This was how the Philippine National Police and the Quezon City government conducted the relaunching of Upland Tukhang in Barangay Batasan Hills. One by one, they knocked on the houses of the suspected drug users who are on the drug watch list and persuaded them to undergo rehabilitation in their barangay. The relaunch had been orderly and the suspected drug users were calm and collected.
Pipilitin ko munang yung sarili ko. Sa sarili ko bago ng hindi na mag-drugs yan. Pupunta na lang po pwede po mamaya.
According to Vice Mayor Joy Belmonte, the Quezon City government is glad that the PNP is back in the war on drugs campaign.
Ang layunin talaga ng Tukhang ay tulungan sila magbagong buhay.
Even some residents are in favor of the new system of Upland Tukhang. Some say it is now less dreadful and they do not feel like their lives will be put in danger.
Dad namin, hindi kami yung tulad nung una, pagka sinabi may Tukhang, walang mga tao rito. Eh ngayon, nakakaharap nyo, nakakausap nyo pa kami. Siyempre, diretso na. May pamilya kami.
Hindi sila gumagamit ng das, puro lang, maayos lahat.
Mas maayos kasi yung mga nakikita ng publiko.
Ngayon talagang ini-interview muna nila.
Meanwhile, National Capital Region Police Office Chief Police Director Oscar Albayalde once again clarified that Upland Tukhang is different from the other police operations of the PNP.
Wala pong namamatay sa Tukhang. No? Yan ang mga nagpapatunay na mga kasama natin ngayon, yung mga narehab na at nagbagong buhay.
Now that Upland Tukhang is back, the PNP ensured that it will be clean and no human rights will be violated. They also urged the Commission on Human Rights and the media to join them in future Upland Tukhang operations. But according to CHR, it is not their mandate to join the operations but to monitor the job of the PNP.
Ang presumption natin is that they're doing their job, so we are going to monitor how they implement this particular new Tukhang operation.
Rajel Adora, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald De La Rosa says the institution will ensure that this time the conduct of Upland Tukhang will be bloodless. However, De La Rosa notes that those who will conduct the anti-drug operations will still bring firearms with them. Here's why from Leia Ilagan.
The Philippine National Police relaunches today its anti-illegal drug operations or Upland Tukhang. According to PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa, CAPs will visit drug personalities only once under the new arrangement of Upland Tukhang. Should the suspected drug personalities refuse to open their doors to the so-called Tukhangers, the police or the barangay personnel will give their names to designated drug enforcement units that would be in charge of investigating them and conducting a case build-up.
Ay, hindi na. Bakit ka magbalik-balik dyan na ini-snub ka? Kapal naman ang mukha mo. Ayaw ko nga kayong kausapin eh. Bakit ka papalik-balik dito?
If the drug personalities can prove to have changed their behavior, they will be removed from the list of drug suspects but will still be monitored by authorities. Bato calls on drug personalities to never resist arrest so that blood will no longer shed during Upland Tukhang operations. All Tukhangers will bring short and long firearms to protect themselves.
I am willing to give up my post. Sabihin niyo kung mayroong tao dyan na pwedeng maging successful tayo sa anti-drug na walang mamamatay. That's baloney. That's impossible.
De La Rosa meanwhile reminds his men to take caution on not to repeat the mistakes of the cops who conducted the previous Upland Tukhang.
Please, tulungan natin, kung mahal niyo yung PNP, tulungan natin na hindi na masira yung ating imahe by being vigilant doon sa ating mga kasamahan na posibleng gumawa ng kalokohan. Bantayan natin sila at ingatan natin yung ating trabaho para hindi tayo masisira.
Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Krame.
Meanwhile, city buses given special permits by the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board will begin plying major roads tomorrow. Joanano will tell us why.
The Interagency Council for Traffic or IAC has begun the full blast implementation of its campaign against dilapidated and smoke-belching jeepneys within and outside of Metro Manila. However, such operation gives commuters a difficult time in riding jeepneys. To address this, the 20 city buses given with special permits by the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB will begin tomorrow plying routes affected by IAC's operation.
Yung mga city buses, na coding, ilalabas nila yan. Pero may mga tarpaulin yan na ito yung pamalit sakay sa mga jeep.
Some routes where the city buses with special permits will operate include Quiapo, Commonwealth, Masinag, Baclaran, Novaliches, and Guadalupe in Makati City. However, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA clarifies the said city buses will operate on the said roads only when needed. Based on the figures of IAC, they have already impounded 50 jeepney units under the said campaign. While more than 200 PUVs were issued with Sabina and would have to undergo motor vehicle inspection system before being allowed to operate. Fares at non-aircon bus starts at 10 pesos, while 12 pesos for air-conditioned buses. The MMDA says the local government units will be the one in charge of managing the traffic flow in their respective areas. This will also be in charge of designating bus loading and unloading areas. The said campaign will run for 2 months until operators improve the condition of their jeepneys. Meanwhile, point-to-point buses will begin plying roads on the 1st of February to serve alternative transportation of passengers of the Metro Rail Transit or MRT during rush hour.
Kasi kung i-consider mo yung pila nila sa MRT plus yung travel time pa sa MRT mismo na train, it will take them at least an hour and a half. So sa atin, at least, imbis na nakatayo sila, nakapila, nasa bus sila nakaupo.
Beginning on Thursday, 10 P2P buses will begin to ply roads and will station at the MRT North Avenue and Quezon Avenue stations. The bus will transport passengers to Ortigas and Ayala. Fares at the P2P buses will become 15 pesos only from the previous 24 pesos. They will begin to operate from 5:45 to 9 in the morning with a 15-minute interval in each trip. Meanwhile, the MMDA will provide 2 buses offering free rides. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
Next on Y News. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos presents proof of alleged cheating in the 2016 vice presidential elections and dares Vice President Robredo to a manual recount. Supreme Court Associate Justice Andres Reyes confirms Chief Justice Lourdes Sereno's move to stop them from paying President Rodrigo Duterte a courtesy call in August 2016. And residents of Albay to have a better view of the rare super blue blood moon set to appear on January 31. Y News will be right back. Former Bureau of Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faildon faced the Senate probe on corruption in BOC. Faildon reveals some senators conducted activities in the agency and that for him is a form of corruption. Here's why from Nel Maribuhok.
The former Bureau of Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faildon answered some of the allegations against him during the Senate probe on the TARA system. In the midst of the hearing, Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Richard Gordon and Faildon got into a heated debate. This is when the senator discussed the favor given to the former BOC chief in the duration of his detention at the Senate.
It's not a party, it's Christmas.
It's a family gathering.
Oh, you're exaggerating, Your Honor.
Don't tell me I'm exaggerating.
The former BOC chief also insists that he was not avoiding any issues against him, particularly on the allegation that he received TARA.
Is it not true that you avoided it?
In September 11, when we had the meeting, I told you in our meeting, dyan sa baba, September 11, that I will continue to answer all your questions in affidavit form.
Not even a single centavo I asked or I allowed anyone to collect TARA.
Meanwhile, Faildon divulged that some senators allegedly wanted to meddle on the operation of the agency, which for him is a form of corruption. He says Senator Drilon pressured him to sign a memorandum of agreement regarding the BOC's office renovation in Iloilo City.
He insisted that I will be signing that MOA. Twice, I attended this meeting and I said, Sir, hindi po pwede. Idol kita, Tito Sen, pasensya na. Pero this is illegal as far as I'm concerned. Personally, he asked me to appoint one official as of the Bureau of Customs as a Director of Intelligence.
But the senators refuted the allegations that their actions are illegal.
There is nothing illegal. I mean, the MOA is to allow the National Historical Commission to do the repairs of the building. The building is not even owned by the Bureau of Customs.
Ang issue, paano nakalabas yung 6.4 billion na Cebu? Dragging my name into whatever illegal is concerned na illegal daw na hindi naman illegal will not remove his culpability.
The Senate probe on TARA system will resume next week. According to Senator Gordon, Faildon will remain in detention. The senator also recommended to have Faildon transferred to Pasay City Jail. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
2016 Vice Presidential candidate and former Senator Bongbong Marcos presented ballot images which he believes would support his claim of massive cheating in favor of Vice President Leni Robredo. Marcos also dares Robredo to withdraw all motions and start the manual recount. Here's why from Roderick Mendoza.
Former Senator Bongbong Marcos believes he has strong evidence of a massive cheating in the 2016 vice presidential elections. Marcos presented ballot images from Camarines Sur and Negros Oriental, which supposedly looked unusual. The ovals beside the names of candidates are missing and some names have squares before it. Also, it appears from some of the ballots that his votes were not counted. In 3 of the ballots images shown to the media, Marcos's name was shaded, but the receipt indicates an undervote, which means there was no vote for the vice president. In another instance, ballots which are supposed to be spoiled because of double shading were counted in favor of Vice President Leni Robredo.
Every single ballot image that we have received may anomalya, may square, may undervote, basta may problema.
A data expert consulted by Marcos says there is clearly an anomaly and what caused it could be determined by a physical examination of the ballots.
There are a lot of instances where a shade for Senator Marcos would be deemed an undervote. In fact, we have identified precincts with 80% undervote or greater.
Marcos suspects the supposed manipulation of ballots was conducted in regional hubs, which the COMELEC put up 6 days before the elections. These regional hubs were used to reformat defective SD cards instead of bringing them to the Comelec warehouse in Santa Rosa, Laguna. Marcos also dares Robredo that they both withdrew all pending motions before the Presidential Electoral Tribunal and start with the manual recount.
Kung ano ba ang outstanding incidents na natitira sa amin, i-withdraw na rin namin para mapunta na tayo sa recount. That's a challenge.
Despite all this, Robredo's lawyer is confident that Marcos's protest will prove nothing.
Walang radical change dyan, walang pagbabago. I'm very, very sure of that sapagkat yung mga iba't ibang mga municipalities o probinsya na kung saan ito'y nabilang na rin ang mga ballot boxes, mga ballots, hindi naman nagkaroon ng pagbabago. Walang pagbabago sa bilang ng mga balota.
Manual recount of votes in 3 pilot provinces, namely Camarines Sur, Iloilo, and Negros Oriental, is expected to begin by next month. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
President Rodrigo Duterte plans to implement government projects through the Swiss challenge system instead of public bidding. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The policy on the lowest bid always wins under the Philippines procurement law has been the root of corruption and the delays in the completion of government projects and programs. This has always been the complaint of President Rodrigo Duterte since he took office. After his first trip abroad this year, the chief executive announced his plan to implement all projects of the state through the so-called Swiss challenge system.
So henceforth, all projects of the Philippines would be something like a Swiss challenge. If I want a building, if I want a highway, if I want railroads built, pakita ko sa inyo, there would be an open space for everybody. Ito, gawin mo. Pagkatapos niyan, if you do it correctly at walang corruption, I will pay you.
Under the Swiss challenge system, the government will select which unsolicited proposal suits best a certain project. After the selection, the state will then look for other parties with the capacity to challenge the chosen proposal. Those who would seek to challenge it should have lower price offers, but with the same quality as the chosen unsolicited proposal. The government is currently using the Swiss challenge system for the rehabilitation of the most war-torn areas of Marawi City. Malacañang argues that placing government projects under the Swiss challenge is legal under the Procurement Act. The palace notes such is the way the president sees in order to resolve the problem on corruption in the implementation of big-ticket infrastructure projects. Despite this, Malacañang says the administration also plans to amend the existing procurement law.
But of course, the Government Procurement Act still provides for competitive biddings. No? So let's just say the president now is exploring an alternative that is also lawful, and if it proves to be better than the current system, he will move at the right time for the law to be amended, the government procurement law to be amended.
President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH and the Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG to inform contractors about his 30-day grace period for government projects.
I will remind everybody through the DILG and to the mayors na there should be no open holes or canals everywhere. And I'm giving everybody in government only 30 days. Either they cancel the contract and allow somebody else.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Authorities arrested 2 suspected members of the Abu Sayyaf group in Zamboanga City. Maris Federes will tell us why.
The joint forces of the Regional Intelligence Unit of the Philippine National Police or PNP and Task Force Zamboanga and its Maritime Unit arrested 2 suspected members of the Abu Sayyaf group or ASG in Barangay Mariki in Zamboanga City last Saturday. They were identified as Tantari Sampang alias Abu Sani and Paisar Aktub Sampang alias Haber. The 2 were allegedly working for ASG top leader Radulan Sahiron.
Hindi lang sila basta-basta, they are someone doon sa organization nila. Kasi directly under Radulan Sahiron sila. So, kaya nga mas masaya tayo na nakuha natin sila fastest time.
Tantari Sampang is facing 7 counts of kidnapping and serious illegal detention, while Paisar Aktub Sampang is facing 6 counts of the same offenses in connection with his alleged involvement in the abduction of the employees of Golden Harvest Plantation in Lantawan, Basilan back in 2001. According to Zamboanga City Police spokesperson, Police Senior Inspector Sheila May Chang, they were able to arrest 7 ASG members this month. Meanwhile, the Zamboanga Police allays residents' concerns over the series of arrests of alleged ASG members in the city. They explained that they are just proving that they are doing their all in providing security to the public. Despite this, the PNP is not discounting the possibility that the colleagues of the arrested ASG members might have been planning to sow violence in the area.
Hindi po tayo pwedeng relax, kumbaga, di ba? Hindi natin pwedeng i-disregard yung thought na baka mas madami pa sila. Kaya nga, we rely on the information na yung binibigay ng communities.
Authorities will turn over Tantari to the Basilan Police, while Paisar to the Pasig City Police, where he has a standing warrant of arrest. Maris Federes, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
President Rodrigo Duterte considers shift of deployment of workers to China should a ban on overseas Filipino workers to Middle East pushes through. Here's why from Rosa Licos.
President Rodrigo Duterte claims the Philippine economy would further improve if the government pushes through with banning the deployment of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs to Middle East. The president seeks to prohibit the sending of Filipino migrant workers to the region due to cases of abuses, which sometimes lead to the deaths of some. However, Mr. Duterte says he wants other nationalities to fairly treat Filipinos.
I feel the loss of employment opportunities for the people. But at the same time, I grieve for the Filipinos for what they have to go through and suffering. If it means a reduced income, it will redound to a less GDP, then so be it.
The chief executive also reveals that he will ask China to open its doors to OFWs in the event the Philippines continues with its plan to ban the deployment of Filipino workers to the Middle East.
They need teachers and domestic help. And I said to them that if you can consider the Philippines, we would be glad to allow our workers to work here.
Last week, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III ordered the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration or POEA to suspend the processing of overseas employment certificates for the deployment of OFWs to Kuwait. This is amid the ongoing investigation on the deaths of 7 Filipino migrant workers in the said country. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Supreme Court Associate Justice Andres Reyes confirms Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno's move to stop them from paying President Rodrigo Duterte a courtesy call in August 2016. Reyes Cousin will tell us why.
In today's impeachment hearing against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, Supreme Court Associate Justice Andres Reyes Jr. confirms that CJ Sereno asked him to cancel their supposed courtesy call to the then newly appointed President Rodrigo Duterte. He was then the Court of Appeals Justice when he and his colleagues decided to write the President for an appointment. Reyes says CJ Sereno was very disappointed upon reading his letter and was raising her voice, saying such move can end his career.
She said, "I don't like your letter. Your letter is insulting to me and the embank. You make it appear that we are not doing anything here in the Supreme Court. Your letter talks about discussing the problems with the President, and that's an insult to us." She told me, si Presidente, madaldal yan. She said that, and she said, kung ano sinasabi niyan, bako ano sabihin sa inyo, hindi kayo makiimik. Wala kayong magagawa sa Malacañang. She said that. And then again, I apologize. I said, "I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to do that." And then she told me, "This might end your career."
Reyes, however, thought they should proceed with a scheduled courtesy call, but they limited their agenda to the presentation of their commemorative stamps and coins. Reyes also decided not to attend the meeting after all. Associate Justice Teresita de Castro says the Chief Justice brought the issue to the unbank.
There was a proposal to
sanction or to ask the justices of the Court of Appeals in the Sandigan Bayan to show cause why they should not be sanctioned by the court. But nobody bought that idea, so nothing happened out of it. It was the Chief Justice who placed it on the agenda.
But in the verified answer of the Chief Justice submitted to the impeachment committee, she said she just reminded the magistrates of their code of conduct that states the justices and judges must refrain from forging inappropriate connections with and get influenced by the executive and legislative branches of the government. Meanwhile, SC Associate Justice Mariano del Castillo stood in defense of the Chief Justice in her procurement of a luxury vehicle worth 5.1 million pesos, saying such purchase went through a process and was even approved by the Bank.
The bank approved this already?
The bank approved this. And in anywhere during the process, meron ho bang nakitang may anybody who raised any irregularities or illegalities dito sa buong process na to?
You mean a member of the bank, Your Honor?
A member of the bank or the member of the bids committee, or meron po ba?
None from the bank, and could it be from the bids and awards committee because they're the ones who recommended the purchase of this vehicle, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. So, and kayo po, as I understand it po, kayo yung sort of member in charge. Wala po kayong nakita?
Wala po.
It was already at the end of the process. It was already the award, the notice of award that we were asked to approve.
Grace Castin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
The UNTV Weather Center. And we will see a special full moon this coming January 31st. Leslie Longbon is back to tell us why.
3 astronomical events will happen before the month ends. On January 31, we'll see a supermoon or a full moon that is at its closest point to Earth in its elliptical orbit. This full moon is also a blue moon, or the second of the 2 full moons occurring in the same month, and a blood moon as well, or the full moon during a total lunar eclipse. The blood moon period is from 8:51 to 10:07 in the evening. Pag-asa says a redder moon will be visible to residents of areas in Albay.
So ito po, lalo mas maganda kung maobserbahan nyo sa bandang kung saan malapit yung Mayon volcano. Kasi kumbaga sa yung po kasing dust particle na nakasuspend dyan, yan po ay nakapagdadagdag sa kulay po ng buwan. It becomes more redder.
Meanwhile, Pag-asa clarifies that this phenomenon has no effect to Mayon's volcanic situation.
Hindi naman napiktado yung sa mga bulkan. Hindi nag-i-influence naman ito. Mostly, ang in-influence nito ay yung sa tides natin. So pagka supermoon, kaysa ordinary full moon nangyayari, ang study ay nagkakaroon tayo ng 2 inches na additional dun sa height ng during high tides.
The super blue blood moon is safe to watch even without protective filters. Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
UNTV and Members Church of God International reached out to more than 1,000 individuals affected by the volcanic activities of Mount Mayon in Albay. Here's why from Robbie de Guzman.
Josefina Moratalia is a resident of Barangay Tumpa in Camalig, Albay. She has been experiencing problems on where to get food for her family. They are among the thousands of residents who fled their homes due to the ongoing volcanic activity of Mount Mayon. Josefina says they have been staying at the Taladong Elementary School Evacuation Center for almost 15 days now. However, the supply of relief goods at the said evacuation center is already near depletion.
Minsan po, bumabalik din kami sa aming tahanan, nag-uwi po kami, kapauno naman po kami makakukuha ng pangangailangan namin.
This is the same concern of Maricris Solano, who is experiencing difficulty in getting clean drinking water for her 1-year-old infant. Even the water being supplied to them is almost used up. This is why Josefina and Maricris are both glad with the relief operation conducted by the Kamanggagawa Foundation Incorporated, Members Church of God International, and UNTV. The volunteers donated 3 kilograms of rice, sotanghon noodles, hygiene kits, and clean drinking water to the displaced families staying at evacuation centers in Camaligalbay. Aside from relief goods, the group also conducted a medical mission at Anuling Elementary School in Barangay Tagaytay and Taladong Elementary School in Barangay Taladong in the town of Camalig.
Maraming salamat po sa inyo kasi po narating ninyo kami, nabigyan mo kami po ng basig por paano ba ng balde, ganun po, dapat pagkain. At saka meron po kayong gamot.
Kasi po at least na alayo po namin dito, na nabigyan niyo po kami, nahanap niyo yung evacuation namin. Kasi po lagi pong huli to, laging lalampasan ng iba. Thank you.
Overall, the said relief operation and medical mission was able to help more than 1,108 individuals in 2 barangays in Camaligalbay. Robbie de Guzman, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Coming up on Y News. The Japanese government vows to punish cryptocurrency exchange firm Coincheck following the world's biggest cryptocurrency theft in Japan. Paris suburbs still on alert as River Seine's water level reaches near its 6-meter peak. And PNP responders' chance to defend title remains while Senate defenders holds twice-to-beat advantage in quarterfinals of UNTV Cup Season 6. More from Y News after this break.
The PNP responders continue threading on the road to defend its championship title. Meanwhile, rookie team Pidea Drugbusters fails to advance to the next round of the UNTV Cup Season 6. Bernard Dadis will tell us why.
In the first game, the AFP Cavaliers defeated the Pidea Drugbusters on Sunday at the Pasig City Sports Center, 98-90. With this win, the Cavaliers remains on the top spot with 9 wins and 1 loss as it awaits its opponent in the semi-final round with a twice-to-beat advantage. Cavaliers coach Sunny Manukat emphasized that there is no room for complacency in order to continue winning.
Sabi ko sa kanila, hindi pa kailangan mag-relax. Yung composure ng team dapat nandun. Magagawa lang namin yun sa practice. So, actually, wala kaming break. Bukas, resume agad kami.
The Drugbusters, on the other hand, despite failing to advance to the next round, is thankful for being able to join the League of Public Servants for the first time this season and looks forward to more seasons to come. In the second game, the Senate Defenders rises to the 4th spot of the team standings after overpowering 2-time champion Judiciary Magis in a neck-and-neck bout 74-71. Chester Tolome and Warren Ibanez were both fouled out in the second half of the match to the advantage of the defenders.
Ang game plan going to this game is yung big three nila eh. Tolome, Camaso, Ibanez, contain. So, siguro we did a pretty decent job. At 2-time defending champion yan. Talagang lalaban yan. Pero we have to do our part eh.
Gary Sevilla, who made 25 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 assist, and 1 block, was hailed as the best player of the game. This victory gives the defenders a twice-to-beat advantage in the season's quarter-final round. And in the third game, defending champion PNP responders proved to be more prepared with its championship-caliber performance yesterday against runner-up team Malacañang PSC Camao and finished off a 19-point game, 77-58. Responders assistant coach Art Marquez continues with a game plan of thorough practices with eyes on defending the title.
Talagang ganon, mahirap. Pero nakukuha sa practice yan. Basta, bawal na mag-relax sa amin.
Camao coach Rapi Gonzalez, on the other hand, admits poor performance led to the loss.
So nagkulang talaga kami sa offense namin. Ayun lang, so kailangan namin pa-practice yung offense namin. Pag-aandaan namin itong game namin na sa susunod.
Watch out for the Malacañang PSC Camao, PNP responders, Senate defenders, and the Judiciary Magis as they battle in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, the NHA Builders sits on the semi-final spot along with the AFP Cavaliers. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
And those are the reasons behind the news, January 29, 2018. I am William Theo.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Angelo Castro III.
And I'm Darlene Basingan. Because we need to know, we will always ask why.
Thank you for watching
Why News.